Welcome, Esther, and thank you for having this conversation with us today. It's a really good privilege for us at HZad Education to be partnering with you at Canadian Immigration Information or Canadian Immigration Info. Today, we're really excited to go through a bunch of questions. We're going to learn a lot more about your company at Canadian Immigration Info, and we'll talk a little bit about HZad Education and the different courses that we have available for people who are coming to the country in Canada and they want to begin their pathway. So they're looking for completing their test, they're looking for answers, and they want to become a new immigrant in the country. So, Esther, can you tell me what do you do at Canadian Immigration? How can you help people come to Canada?
Okay, I'm really excited to be here and to partner with HZad Education. And basically what I do is I discovered that a lot of people are already in Canada and they are stuck to which pathway they could use. Probably they went in as an international candidate and now they want to transit to work and permanent residency and they are just stuck. So we give them a lot of information that can assist them, get their permanent residency. And I also educate a lot of people that are willing to move from their own country to Canada as to which pathway best suits their profile.
I've heard that there's a lot of changes happening to Express Entry, and Express Entry is a popular route. Is there something that participants should be knowledgeable about?
Yes, there is a lot of changes going on now in the immigration policies of Canada recently. And for Express Entry, there's a kind of shift. There's a greater focus on category-based draws now, especially for candidates in the healthcare sector, education, trades. They are really prioritized now and for the express entry stream. So, and also French speakers are really prioritized too. In fact, there's a projection that between 2025 to 2027, there's going to be about 8.5 to 10% increase in permanent residence approval for French speakers. Wow. So people can look into this. So, and another thing to note about express entry is that for STEM, transport, and agricultural sectors, they've been removed from occupation-based category. So for express entry streams. So those are the recent changes, at least in 2025. It's getting, Canada is trying to tighten a border, and they are trying to regulate, how people, come into the country. So I think basically people should move. If your occupation is not in these prioritized sectors, the best thing you can do is to look in the provincial nomination program. So you just have to look into the specific province that, looking for occupations in your, looking for your specific occupation. Even this particular sector that, are prioritized under the Federal Express Entry Stream, some other categories, some other occupations are welcome in other provinces.
Interesting. So, sorry, the Wi-Fi froze for a moment there, but you were saying that it's very important people look into the specifications of each province to know about their industry. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So basically, you have to, if you're moving into Canada from your home country, think the most important thing is to check, some basic things like your age. It's one of the factors that will, make you understand which of the pathways will suit you. So you're going to look at your your education, the language requirement, if you can meet up with this, and all of some other factors, because we have some provinces that have expression of interest and they have consistent draws, for candidates.
Yeah.
So what you want to look at is, okay, which province in Canada is actually welcoming my occupation? Do I have my occupation on their priority occupation list? Each of these provinces have their own specific priority occupation list.
Right.
So you want to check, and some provinces like the British Columbia, Ontario, Alberta, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, they have what we call expression of interest pool, where they have, candidates that, if they usually draw from this pool the highest scoring candidates, and they have requirements, they have scoring grid, and basically this scoring grid would consider your age, your education, your work experience, and also your language requirements, your language test score. So they are going to rank you based on these factors. So the high scoring candidates would be issued, like invitation to apply or recommendation, as the case may be, depending on the pathway you are going through.
Right.
So
It's interesting because there's a lot of factors that people can't change. They can't change their age, and they can't change their immediate income or sometimes their education. So they have to apply with this information. But there's a lot of things people can change. Like they can look at different provinces that accept their industry or which is in high demand. They can also look at different types of education pathways, for example, language proficiency and the different exams. Do you see what is the significance of having a high score on one of the exams, like the IELTS, the CELPIP, or the PTE Core exam? Does that drastically affect their immigration status?
it does. It goes a long way. For express entry, of course, if you have higher score, if you have a very high score in your language test, it can help increase your CRS score, your overall CRS score, which would, of course, put you in a better position to be selected for, invitation to apply. And for the expression of interest that I made mention of for different provinces, like I told you, they are going to rank candidates based on certain criteria, like your age. So if you do not get a high score for your age and you score higher in your language, test, that could help increase your score and better position you, for you to get recommended. So IELTS is very important. In fact, different pathways in Canada, most of these pathways require you to have your language test, proficiency. You have your language test score. So it has now for PGWP, the minimum requirement is for degree programs is CLB 7. So if you do not meet up with that minimum requirement, for instance, you cannot get your post-graduation work permit because it's a basic requirement. So for most pathways in Canada, especially pathways to permanent residency, you would usually have to present your language test score.
So the express entry has a higher requirement there, the CLB 7. And this is where, from our side of things, we deal with a lot of people that are looking to get that CLB 7. And it does create this barrier to their immigration process. They're looking to do it in a fast manner, or they want to get to Canada within the next year or two. What's an idea time frame that people can expect from start to finish to get into Canada through the applications?
Please, can you come again? I didn't get that.
What's the typical timeline for the immigration process?
Okay, for the immigration process, well, it depends on the route you are applying through. If express entry is the fastest, So within 3 months, the immigration process should be concluded for express entry. But for provisional nomination programs, sometimes it can take between 6 months to as much as 18 months, depending on the specific pathway you're using. So one other thing I would like to encourage people, one other route that it's very recent and it's very good because there's no age limit for this particular pathway, and it's very recent, is the Rural Community Immigration Pilot Program, as well as the Francophone Community Immigration Pilot Program. This route, Canada has dedicated about 14 communities that would participate in this program. So for those that do not have, their occupation is not in the prioritized sector or do not meet the requirement for the federal express entry, they can look into this because each of these community have their priority occupation list. So if you find your occupation in any of this community, then you can be eligible. There are other factors to be considered. Some of these community also have something like a pool where you can, submit your profile, and they are going to rank you based on different criteria, like I just said, age and other factors, including your language test. This pathway also requires you to submit your language test.
Okay.
So you literally cannot shy away from presenting your English language, test if you're really serious about moving to Canada, because most of these pathways require you to submit your language test, and which is why I'm excited to partner with HZad so that they can assist a lot of people to nail their IELTS, their CELPIP, their PTE, once, because the cost for writing this test is also increasing. And, people, it's not, since you have someone professional that can assist you on this journey, there's no point wasting time sitting for IELTS. I've met people, sit for IELTS twice, 3 times, and even more, and still they cannot make the required points. So I think it's very essential to take note of that.
I definitely agree. We've seen a lot of people take the exam once or twice, and then they come to us and they say, I just don't want to waste this money doing the exam. IELTS, I believe, is the most expensive one, and that is often seen as the traditional exam. It's been around for many years, and it's widely accepted by a lot of countries. So people are very familiar with it. But in the recent years, exams like the CELPIP and the PTE Core have become more popular and also more flexible to the test taker's needs. Like the CELPIP exam, for example, is a Canadian-focused exam, and so it is more adjusted with Canadian English, and it's all online. It's all computer-based. And same with the PTE Core exam. It's all based online, but it has the fastest results because it's done through AI, and they produce the results within less than a day. I think it's one or 2 days. So that's why we lean towards these exams. We help students because we provide them with either the self-paced course or the private live classes. And we find that students that do the self-paced course, they often only have to take the exam one time. So we really feel that this is helping people to get into the Canadian immigration pathways a lot faster. They're not routinely doing the exams.
Yes. Okay. I think a lot of people are more familiar with IELTS. Probably they do not know that there are other, exams they can take that are acceptable actually in Canada. So maybe with this, it will help people to know that it's not just IELTS. You can also go for CELPIP. You can also go for PT, which is, acceptable in Canada.
Exactly.
So what I want to ask is, what is your course? What are the benefits to be derived from your course? And what would make your students stand out, to nail their IELTS in one sitting?
Good. Yeah, good question. So we have three self-paced course based on the three different exams, and they all create such a depth of information. Really, the value is what students are getting here. For example, the CELPIP and the PTE Core exam, we have mock tests that mimic the real exam. So students are able to take this exam and know exactly their placement before they go into the real. They get to understand their CLB score or their complete score. And it mimics the exam from start to finish with a timer, word count, the same type of questions. A lot of students have test anxiety or test fear. So by understanding the structure of the exam, knowing what questions are to be expected and how to answer them using some general templates that are designed for these tests, it makes them more confident and have experience taking the exam. We also provide them with loads of bonus material. So there's a lot in there with vocabulary, questions to expect, and direct help that they can reach out to us and get feedback from an examiner. All of our teachers have been examiners, or they're very experienced with IELTS, CELPIP, and PTE Core exam, which just gives us that unique advantage to be helping people with an inside scoop on what the exam looks like, so they know what to expect.
Okay, so what you're trying to say is they would also get, like someone they can relate with, should in case they have any question or any difficulty in your courses, they have someone they can talk to, someone that could attend to them.
Yes, yeah. So the self-paced courses, they are material that they can watch and they have a lifetime access. But all students get our contact information, so they're welcome to contact us if they have questions. We do have live training courses as well. This is a live course with an examiner or with a tutor that can help them get through the material. These are really personalized, and we've noticed a lot of students decide to buy both. But for this limited time, we have the promo going on for our self-paced course. So if people are interested, it'll be down in the link below for the promo this month. But overall, we have courses that are available for students that are very busy and they don't have a lot of free time, or people that want to have a live session with a real tutor. So we have both options. I have a question for you. From the immigration department or the immigration side, what test do you see most often?
Test.
The IELTS, CELPIP, or PTE?
I didn't get that question.
What is more popular, the IELTS, the CELPIP, or PTE?
iHealth is more popular. And
Yeah.
I think the reason is because, it's widely accepted. I think CELPIP is only accepted in Canada. So that's why most people prefer iHealth because, you can use it in the UK, you can use it here and there. But for CELPIP, it's just for Canada immigration.
Mm-hmm.
So I have, like me, I wrote iHealth. So
Okay.
a lot of people write iHealth.
Mm-hmm. I think it has the longest reputation for these exams. If someone is feeling very overwhelmed about the immigration process, what would be the steps they can take to contact you?
Okay, they can contact me via Canada Immigration Info at gmail.com. That's our email address. And they can also get to reach out, on YouTube. On our pages, we have a lot of informative videos where they can get to learn a lot of pathways, they can use to immigrate to Canada. And also, I'm going to drop my Instagram handle with you. So probably you can link it in the video description.
Mm-hmm. Good. Or we'll definitely link all of that down in the description below. That's good information. My final topic that I think is important for us to discuss. We're in a new era of immigration. We have Trump down in the south below us. We have new parliament in Canada. Things have been changing. What are some tips that you can share with people moving to Canada?
Okay, what I would like to say is that if you're moving to Canada now that immigration policy is changing, you know, here and there. In fact, there has been a lot of changes this year alone. So you want to look into the specific routes you are using to immigrate to Canada and be up to date with the necessary information. For instance, for postgraduate work permits, if you don't know, recently, at least with effect from June 2025, there are lots of courses that has been removed from the eligible, courses. So if you don't know about this information, you just pick, select any course. Probably you're moving through the study route and you're just coming into Canada to study any course. You might not be eligible for the post-graduation work permit when you're done with your course. So you just have to be sure and be sure about the latest policy before you dive into your immigration journey. So, and there are other things that are going on now. You also have to, equip yourself with a lot of information.
Mhm. That's fantastic advice because this is a big move that people are doing and it can change their life. So everyone needs to stay up to date with information. So I hope they get in contact with you at Canadian Immigration Info so they can get more understanding about the processes. And for people that are looking at studying more, but they are busy, they're overwhelmed, or they have a job and children, if they're looking to continue studying at their own speed and having lifetime access to the material, we do encourage you to check out hzadeducation.com. We have a promo code going on for a limited time. So the promo code is CADIM, and that will be in the description below for 25% off all of the self-paced course. So we really hope that we're able to partner together and help a lot of people feel less anxious moving to Canada. That's the dream.
I hope so too.
Good. All right. So I'm really glad to talk with you today. You answered a lot of my questions, helped me to understand the immigration journey that people are going on. Esther, do you have any last questions for us?
Okay. For someone that is just probably a first timer with this English test exams, what do you think? How do you think the person can start off? Do you think the person still have to attend a physical class, or with the courses, there's no need for physical class anymore? Because some people think you just have to attend physical class before you can pass your IELTS or your CELPIP, what have you.
Mhm. I would say that the physical class is just not always suitable to everyone's life. The first thing we need to know is how much time can we dedicate to studying because people are busy with their life tasks. So if you're with someone with kids or a full-time job, the self-paced course do help you to maximize your time, study exactly the material you need, and not waste time learning additional information, which is really important. In today's world, I think people are looking to maximize their efficiency. So that's really important.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. All right, good. Well, thank you for joining me tonight. It's a great way to learn more about your company and also to share more about the different exams that we offer and the different assistants. So, Essa, without further ado, I want to thank you for having this meeting today.
Thank you for having me.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. All right. See you next time.
All right, thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.